What's up, guys? I'm here bringing you another tutorial. This one's going to be in Cinema 4D, and I've been getting into intros and stuff, and this is pretty much what we're going to be doing today. It's going to be about intros. It's going to be a simple little intro. It's not really going to be intro, maybe you can make it a transition, whatever you guys want. This is pretty much what you guys will be doing today, so let's just play it, and we'll do that, and then we'll spin, drop out. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to be making today. Maybe not exactly the same, but it's going to be something like that. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm just going to open my Lightroom. You can get the Lightroom in my pack, my GFX pack. That it's going to be happening on Freebie Friday. Actually, I'll just put this pack in the description, okay? So what you want to do is just open it up, and it will be in the description. It's my material pack. No. Okay, so once you open it, this is what you're gonna get. What you want to do first is you want to go to your render settings, and you want to go to output and change it to 1280 by 720. Okay, and I'll be right back, guys. Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. So when you're done, your width and your height, you want to go to your save, and you want to just find a place. So click this button or browse, and you want to just change the name. I'm just going to call it tutorial. Okay, I don't even care. And I'm going to go to the format and change it to AVI movie. That's really important. And I'm actually going to go back to the output, and I'm going to change it from the frames here. You want to hit from and change to 0. And you want to hit 2 and change to 90. And then that will be good, so you can just close it off now. And now what you want to do is you want to go MoGraph, MoText, and do whatever you guys want. So you want to hit object, make sure it's at object, and just name whatever you want in the box. I'm just going to call it Zony. Now you guys can use whatever font you want. I'm going to use just a font that everyone has, and as a tip, you want to get like a big fat letters. Like, you don't want skinny letters. You don't want like that, because that's too skinny. You want to get big letters like Arial Black, which is what I'm going to be using. And I'm going to just change the depth up. Change it to like 120, because that's a good depth. And just zoom out. And yeah. So now, you want to go, make sure your multi-text is selected, and you want to go to your caps and click fillet cap, or however it's pronounced, and fillet cap, and change it to like 3 and 3. So that will make this nice outline on your text. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here into this little shape thingy, and you want to hit explosion effects. Yeah, just like that. And I just want to move it up and maybe to the side, so it's just about in the middle of your text. Like, if you can see, it's like in the middle height. And I'm just going to move it to the side, and then I'm going to hold the explosion effects, and I'm going to make it so you can see the arrow underneath the MoText, or you can select it as a child. I mean, you should want to drop it as a child, so like that, so it's inside the MoText. So now you can see if you have your, explosion effect selected, you can just drag it across, and it forms like this, and that's already a nice effect. Okay, but what I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to go back to the MoText. I'm going to click object, and I'm just going to change the horizontal spacing to like 5, just to make that a little bit nicer. And now I'm going to go back to explosion effects, and I'm going to go to rotation, and you want to change the speed up to like 20 and the variation to like 10. What this will do is it will rotate it a bit so it looks a bit better, in my opinion. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to special, and I'm going to hit the wind to like 15 and the twist to like 10. On the variation, to change to 5 on both of them. You guys can play around with all this. It's really customizable. So that looks much better already, guys. Pretty sick, actually. And now I'm gonna go to explosion, and I'm gonna change blast range. Actually, first I'm gonna change blast speed to like 30, and I'm gonna change blast range to like 150. No, 165. Yeah. Now we can check it again. It looks a little bit less done, I guess you can say. And now what you guys can do is you guys can just drag it down and just make it so like the bottom parts of it are doing it, or just moving, or the top parts you can drag it up. But I'm just going to be using it in the middle. You guys can drag it back. If you drag it back, you can see only the back parts move, and I don't really like that effect. You guys might. Or you can move it forward so only the front part of the Motex moves, like so. But I'm just going to be moving it about to the middle so all of it moves. So it's a little more back. Yeah, so all of it moves just like that. And now we have this awesome looking text and everything, but we're gonna make sure our explosion effects is selected. And now we're gonna click this little automatic keyframing thing down here, and you want to just hit keyframe right there and make sure it's on 0. Make sure it's on 0 when you click it, and make sure your explosion effects is wherever you want. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna drag it all the way to like 75, so that's 7.5 seconds, and I'm just gonna move it all the way over so it's out of the thing already. And it does a keyframe. If it doesn't, just click this key right here. And yeah, so if we press play now, it'll go like this automatically. And just go back to keyframe 0, and now make sure your Motex is selected this time. Now you want to hit the keyframe button right on 0, and then I'm gonna just go up here to my rotation tool, and I'm gonna rotate it a bit. Sorry, undo that. You wanna go to the next keyframe you want. So I'm gonna rotate it at like 2 seconds out of it. It's gonna be rotated, and it's gonna be moved up a tad bit like that, and side. And then hit keyframe, and then what you want to do is you want to go like another like 15 or 20 frames ahead, and you want to just rotate it the other way and move it to the side this way, and make sure you press keyframe down here, and then you want to just move it all the way to like 75, maybe like 72, because that's right when it ends. Actually, I'm going to use 73, and I'm just going to rotate it forward. You can change it down here, and you can hit 0, 0, 0, but sometimes it doesn't work. In my case, it won't be, and I'm just going to move it forward actually, and I'll just move it down and that way so it looks like in the middle. And now I'm just gonna give it this effect, so it like rotates before it ends. So I'm just gonna go all the way to the last frame, and I'm gonna hit my rotation tool again, and I'm gonna click the red spiral so it goes forward, and I'm just gonna drag it about 1¼ way, so like 430 degrees about. And then I'm just gonna go to my live selection tool again, and I'm just gonna drag it forward so it looks like it's coming forward while it's spinning. So now I'm gonna press play, gonna watch it. So it does that, and then it will spin, and then you guys can do it whatever you want. So that looks pretty sick already, guys, but we're still not done. So just pause it and go back to keyframe 0. And now what you want to do is you want to grab your explosion effects again, and you want to hit Control C, Control V on it, and just make sure it's a child, it's the Motex again. And on this next one, you want to just drag it all the way to where, just about where it's going to hit. And you want to hit blast speed down to 0.01, blast range to 0.01. Okay, and then you want to just move your keyframe all the way to when it ends. And make sure it's still 0.01. Sorry guys, sorry. I made a mistake there. I didn't keyframe it. So I'm gonna make sure it's keyframed here. I'm gonna make sure it's keyframed here at 0.01. And now I'm gonna move it all the way over until it's about right here when it ends, and I'm gonna keyframe it again, and then I'm gonna move it forward until like 83. Then I'm gonna move it up, and I'm just gonna move it to the side so it's all the way up here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the blast speed to whatever it was before. I think it was 30, and the blast range to 165, which it was before. And then I'm gonna change to the last frame and make sure it's up here. I think that's how it should be, and then click keyframe. So let's just play it. And see, it will bounce a little bit at the end, but you can see it didn't bounce that much. It didn't hit it that much, I guess I could say. See here, it will hit it, and it'll kind of give that effect that it drops down, but didn't really work on that much. So I'm just gonna change the blast speed up to like 50, and the blast range to like 225. And now I'm just gonna play around with the strength, move it to like 2000, and yeah, so it should look like, actually change the blast speed to like 100, and change the blast range to like 250. Yeah, that's much better. And now press play, and it will give that effect. So yeah guys, it's pretty much the end of the tutorial. But now what we're going to do is we're going to add color onto the Motex. So you want to hit C on your keyboard when your Motex is selected, and then you want to when it says this one, you want to just open up Zony or whatever your text is, and I'm just gonna do custom colors, and you can see I have really nice colors here. And then like my best material. This is what I always use for my material pack. So I'm gonna take my red, and I'm gonna move it onto the Z. Take the orange, move it onto the O. Take the yellow to the N, like so. But then we see there's no blue. The blue's right over here. So simple. And now if we play it, give it that effect. Really nice. Kind of like I think there's one tutorial on this before, but it's not exactly the same. So yeah, I'm just gonna change up the red shine. So I'm gonna double click it, and I'm gonna move it all the way to the top red, so it gives it more of a red. And I'm gonna change the orange, and I'm gonna make it a little bit more yellow, because if it's more yellow, then we can see more of the difference between orange and red. So that's much better. So yeah, that looks much better, guys. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the tutorial. We have a really nice intro or transition, whatever you guys want to do. You guys can play around with this explosion effects. Just make sure you use keyframes and everything, and it will all work. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching.